welcome to Banter Such. I'm Brando.
And I'm Owen.
And today we are talking about Night Shyamalan!
Shamalama ding dong.
What a twist!
And once again, we're kind of enjoying just being back to basics, so it's just going to be Brando and I today.
It's just us. And I say the word just, I feel like that's not doing us justice.
I see what you did
It's
there.
all us, baby.
It's
It's all
just us, justice.
Just
yeah,
us.
yeah, okay.
That was really stupid. Hey, let's get to some BS.
All right, so today...
It's me. It's me.
Oh, it's you, okay.
I'm sorry. No, it's fucking me.
It is me.
God damn it. Oh, I wrote this new intro. All right, go ahead, Owen.
So today, we're talking about the twist master himself, M. Night Shyamalan. But before we get into it, we do want to give you a heads up on a couple things.
Yes, first of all, I want to let you know about our amazing merch at theheliosnetwork.com. We have Wasted Truth shirts. We have Banter and Such stickers, which I'm fucking obsessed with.
Yeah.
And we have, I'm serious, we have Owen and Brando pins, like little pins. One of Owen and one of Brando. They're fucking adorable. And we got more stuff coming up. So check out theheliosnetwork.com for our merch.
Also, if you'd like to support the show, check out our Patreon. The link's in the show descriptions. If you support it enables us to do what we're doing and expand into new stuff in the future because we have a ton of cool stuff coming.
Oh, yeah.
Also gets you access to our weekly bonus banner episode. You get a shout out on episodes, and as well, you get discounts on merch. And as well, which is kind of cool, we started putting polls up on the Patreon, and you can vote on future topics.
Yes. Okay, so now we are ready to jump in and talk about M. Night
Well, there is a
Shyamalan.
reason why we're doing M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong
Shyamalan!
on this week's episode.
Yes.
It's because
He's the
next week
appetizer, baby.
is going to be the start of everybody's
Yes.
favorite holiday and favorite banter and such time.
Yes.
The Spooktober Spectacular.
Woo, man. Oh my
No, wait,
gosh.
is it Spooktober?
Spooktober special?
Yeah, and then what is it? Jingle-sember?
Jingle Simber Spectacular.
There it
I
is.
tried to make it as difficult. This Christmas one's as difficult as possible.
Yeah.
Spooktober special,
Yeah,
straightforward.
easy. Done.
So we did this last year in season 1, and it was just fun. We're changing up the vibe of the show. And I don't want to give away all the spoilers, but we're changing up the vibe of the show. Our intro is going to be different, music's going to be different, and we're bringing in some like really awesome special guests to talk about. I mean, we just get into it, man. We're totally. And so I got costume ideas already.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing some fun stuff, and every single week we're going to be dressing up in costume for what we're talking about.
So Sarah and I have been going through. She sent me a list of potential werewolf looks. Like
Ooh.
on a budget.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do that because I was like, I'll just buy a mask. I'm like, I can't wear a mask for an episode.
Yeah, exactly. I think
so. How am I gonna do this?
I think I'm gonna do like a plaid shirt with like wolf fur coming out of the collar and stuff.
Yeah.
And we've got.
I might
big
just wear a
beards.
basketball jersey.
Yeah, there you go. We are
You
gonna
got that reference.
We're gonna be fucking talking about Teen Wolf on our werewolf episode.
Anyways,
But I was thinking about the witch episode. I was
Oh
like,
my
the only
gosh.
thing I could think of is to like dress like a goth and like put like white on my face and like put black around my eyes. I was like, I can't wear a witch hat because I gotta wear the headphones.
you could find a witch hat big enough to cover over the headphones.
I'm just gonna dress like a big titty golf girl.
Okay.
So-
I mean, isn't that how you normally dress every day?
Yes, that's how everyone describes Brando.
Yes.
Like,
Big
oh,
titty goth girl.
have you met my business partner? Who is that?
Yeah.
You know, the big titty goth girl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
know him.
yeah. He's great. I love him. What does big titty goth girl think?
Yes.
Wow. Think of M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong.
I thought this was the perfect appetizer to get into Spooktober because his movies to me aren't like Halloween specific movies, but they are. But they're also not, you can't like say they're horror movies necessarily either because they're like suspense movies or they are scary movies, right?
Yeah, it is hard to classify. I mean, definitely thriller. Psychological thriller is probably where I would say most of his stuff lies into it. I mean, of course, they do border on the genre of horror because there are scary things in majority of his movies.
Yes.
And so I would say definitely they lean a little bit more towards the psychological thriller side than they do traditional horror. Like, it's not like the inevitable monster is coming after you to kill you. It's always like something else is coming. You know, it's like, oh, cool, like I see dead people, or aliens, or my grandparents aren't really my grandparents.
I mean, there's definitely like scary stuff too. And of course he became famous for the twist.
Yes.
Right? That was his big thing. And I guess it all started with The Sixth Sense.
Yeah,
was that his first one?
No, he did direct 2 movies before that.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, they're not of anything of note.
Do you have the letterbox pulled up, or like?
Yeah, I'll pull up.
I want to look at them in order.
And
because for me the first one is like, I always think of like Sixth Sense.
Yeah,
that's always the first one.
So we're going to be talking not just about his directorial movies, but some of the movies that maybe he was just a producer or a writer on, because he has a lot more than just what people think. So he had Praying with Anger in 1992 was his first ever directed movie.
Well, I read this thing how like when he was a teenager, he was making he made like 40 movies.
Yeah.
But like they were just like indie film, like
him with his camcorder.
Yeah, with a camcorder type deal. Yeah.
Then he did Wide Awake in 98, which was not a good movie. And then that's when in 99, and we've talked about this, how 99 might be the best year ever for movies. He came out with The Sixth Sense.
Dude, what came out in 99?
We've talked about it before.
This was The Matrix. I remember came out in 99.
I mean, it is absolutely insane.
Did a Star Wars come out in 99?
Yes. So 1999 movies, we have Sleepy Hollow, The Haunting, Fight Club, The First Mummy, October Sky, Cruel Intentions.
Oh, wow.
Matrix, 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh, wow.
Big Daddy came out in 1999. American Beauty, The Iron Giant, The Green Mile.
Wow. Green Mile. Jeez, you're spitting them out, man.
Yeah, The Matrix.
99 was the
Entrapment.
year, man. Entrapment. Oh, geez, that classic.
Zeta-Jones. She dips beneath lasers.
That's the one.
Whoa.
That's the one. and she's hooked up with Sean Connery, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's like old enough to be her fucking dad.
Well, she's fucking married to Michael Douglas, which could be her dad. So obviously she's into that. I wish I was older than her and she'd be into
if Catherine Zeta-Jones is that hot, I'd love to see Catherine Alpha or Catherine Beta.
Oh, God damn it. I saw a joke forming in your head. I was like, how bad is this going to be? But yeah, so Sixth Sense was his like first big one. And I remember going to the movie theater to see it and just being absolutely blown away.
Did you have it spoiled before you saw it?
No. Actually, I didn't go to the movie theater. I was wrong. My parents went, saw it. And then when it came out on VHS...
That's when you saw it.
Yeah, they allowed me to watch it.
So apparently this movie, like, it had legs on when it came out to like on VHS. But I saw it in theaters. I remember going with some friends and seeing it, and I did not have it spoiled. And I went in, and I'm like, oh, this is a scary movie. This is cool. I'll go see a scary movie. And it is. Like, you watch it, and it has those ghost scenes that are super creepy, and it builds that tension. And he does a great job of like not overdoing it with like the jump scares, like the cat jumps on the hood of the car.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, fuck that.
Or like the little kid like walks through like across the hallway.
Yeah, or someone shuts the medicine cabinet in their bathroom and suddenly there's someone behind them.
Yeah.
Like M. Night Shyamalan,
that's a trope in and of itself.
He doesn't like really do that kind of stuff. Like he's an actual he's got skills as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And like builds the suspense and I'm watching The Sixth Sense. I'm like, this is a cool ghost movie, but it's very slow and it's very like kind of chill and subtle, but it is the twist at the end that makes you re-examine the entire movie. That's really what elevates the movie.
And yeah, I mean, that movie didn't need that twist.
Okay.
I think if that movie just played out as it was, it still would have been a great movie.
I would agree with you. I would have said it would have been
as good.
Yeah.
The twist is definitely what elevates the movie from, I would say, like a 3.8 to a 4.5.
Yeah.
If I was to give it 5 stars.
I think the twist is what you remember. It's what everyone knows. Up until that, I agree with you. It's like, this is a good ghost movie.
Yeah. The storytelling is great. And this is like, M. Night Shyamalan had a couple good movies before everything just went pew. We'll get into that later.
Well, when you asked me, you're like, what movies do you want to talk about? And I'm like, just the good ones. Because, I mean, in my mind, he had like 3 great movies.
Yeah.
And then he has a handful of okay movies, and then it just...
Yes.
And I was literally going through the list, and I had literally forgotten he did The Last Airbender.
Wait, what movie?
Exactly.
What movie?
I've been making that joke for so many years that it actually worked on my brain. I forgot that that movie existed.
Wait, they did a Last Airbender movie?
No, they didn't.
Okay,
they did
cool.
not.
Cool, because like
And
that's one of my
we're not
favorite
talking about it.
animes ever.
It is.
And if you all say, well, Avatar is an anime, yes, it is. A Korean studio did all the artwork for Avatar: The Last Airbender.
It's one of the best TV shows of all time.
Not even in the animated category.
No, just of any TV show.
And that's why the movie was so. I can't finish that sentence.
I can't. I don't. I'm not. I've never seen it.
Yeah,
I've never seen it. So I literally.
I saw it in the theater. And it's miserable.
So you went to see it before you knew it was going to be bad?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I
no.
You know,
so your hopes were up.
Yeah, I was in high school, maybe like early college when Avatar: The Airbender, the cartoon, the anime started.
Yeah.
And even then, I was like, "This is fucking dope."
Yes.
Yeah, and was like into it. Then the movie came out, and I'm like, "Oh, it's M. Night Shyamalan." I'm like, The Village wasn't that good. Living in the Water was not great, but I'm like,
I thought it was interesting. I was like, cool. Let's see what he
There's
does.
no way that he can mess up. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
And you remember the movie trailers looked so cool.
Yeah,
with the little kid doing the movements and stuff.
And it's just terrible.
And it's like the season 8 of Game of Thrones. Because I loved it so much.
Yeah,
it's like a really bad breakup. I'm like, I loved you so much, and you did me so wrong in the end.
Oh, definitely this movie caused some
emotional damage.
And
well, we were talking about that with House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
Like, who was it I was talking to? Puck. And how because he was like, are you liking it? And I was like, I'm just, every episode that I watch, I'm utterly terrified that they're going to ruin. Same with the Lord of the Rings show.
Yeah, it's like going back to an ex-girl, like an ex-girlfriend or like an ex-significant other, that things didn't end well and like, oh, it's good again, but you kind of always have that feeling that it's just going to end miserably again.
I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? And she's going to just break my heart. And like, that's what M. Night did to The Last Airbender. And I feel so bad for him, but also for us, because I'm like, I hate his guts for what he did, because how dare him?
He has redeemed himself since then, though.
Exactly, but it's like, he's made great movies.
Yeah.
But I also feel like obligated to hate him, though. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, so here's my thing, right? Like, there's no way that a director with a shtick like that, where it's like, no, he does movies where the ending is a big twist.
Yeah.
There's no way that he's going to hit... he's like bat 100.
How do you
can't
do that?
bat 100 when it's like a twist.
Every audience member is going into it going, what's the twist?
Yeah.
And before the movie even starts, we're trying to guess the twist ending. How can he possibly satisfy us? You know?
And that's the thing. So it's like he eventually kind of got away from that. And but then
did Signs have a twist?
Kind of. So a lot of people say Signs doesn't, but I actually argue that there is a twist.
I guess it was the tragic backstory being a prophecy for the future.
Yeah, so I think the twist of Signs is the fact that everything does sync up.
Yeah.
Like why the son has asthma, why the daughter has to think about water, why, his last line from his wife was tell Meryl swing away.
Yeah.
And like things like that. So it's like, I think that's the twist.
Yeah.
That it's prophetic, like you said.
So like The Sixth Sense, I think is a masterpiece of a movie. I think that's probably his most
opus magnum.
Magnum opus.
Magnum opus. Yeah.
But and I love it. I love The Sixth Sense. And I just recently went back and watched it again not too long ago, and I was like, this is fantastic. This is a great. But I got to say, like, just personally, Signs, that movie creeps me the absolute fuck out.
Oh, 100%.
Man. That movie is that pushes all of my specific Brando buttons.
Oh, I'm right there with you. But before we get out of The Sixth Sense, I want to talk about something, though, that this movie, in my opinion, is better the second time you watch it. Or every other time after the first time.
When you know that Bruce Willis,
what the sport, but
and we're going to spoil it. Bruce Willis is a ghost.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Bruce Willis was dead at the end of
that movie came out like 23 years ago.
Yeah. So I like it. We're like, now it's spoiled. But I'm like, if you watch the scenes though now, knowing that he's dead and how it syncs up, and you're like, oh shit, like oh, you just think the wife's mad at him, and that's why
at the dinner scene.
Yeah, or like and stuff like that.
Well,
where,
so he sits down,
and the chair doesn't move,
and he doesn't touch the chair, and they're arguing, but you realize she's not arguing with him, and like yes, and you're like, well, the scene where Haley Joel Osment. He walks in, he gets home, and Bruce Willis and his mom are sitting in the living room talking.
And you think,
but they weren't talking.
Nope.
He was just sitting in a chair, and she was sitting in a chair, and you assume like, oh, they were having a meeting, and now the kid got home, and he's gonna go take him out for a psychology session. But no, it was just you're a fucking ghost.
Yep,
he's just haunting this poor kid's house.
Like the Book of Eli. The second time you watch Book of Eli, I think it's better.
You know what, man? That's actually a really cool movie.
Yeah,
that I feel like is kind of underrated.
You want to do an episode on it? We should do a Denzel Washington episode.
We need to do Denzel.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we
got one of the goats.
Fucking Training Day.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh man,
The Equalizer.
You know what I've had on my list for a long time is Crimson Tide. I haven't seen Crimson Tide in forever.
Oh gosh.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
He's on the submarine.
Oh, what is up with you in submarine movies, man?
One ping only, please. Officially. Ryan, some things don't react well to bullets in here. Sorry, those are lines that Sean Connery said in The Hunt for Red October. I know nobody listening to this is getting my jokes.
Well, we 2 episodes ago or 3 episodes ago we talked about it.
You just talked shit about it.
Yeah. Anyways, we can't go straight to Signs because we have to talk about Unbreakable.
Was that before Signs?
Mm-hmm. It goes Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signs.
Unbreakable?
Mm-hmm. So Sixth Sense was 1999. Unbreakable was 2000.
Oh, yeah. We need to talk about Unbreakable.
And then 2002 was Signs. Unbreakable. I just watched it for the first time in years today.
Yeah.
And so this is one where it's like, there's no horror elements to it. Like Sixth Sense had horror elements. This one's a little bit more drama.
Yeah. Well, there
are some suspense to it, but I wouldn't really call it a thriller.
I mean, it is. I mean, you got the bad guy and Mr. Glass and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He does fight the guy.
I don't know.
Yeah, I see.
It's a little bit more of a drama than I would say anything, with like some thriller aspects.
I feel like we have to give cultural context to it also, because this was like before the MCU, and like you got to understand, like the last superhero movie we got was like Batman
X-Men.
and Robin, or
no,
something.
It was X-Men.
Yeah, like X-Men, right?
And then Spider-Man was right after this,
and so M. Night Shyamalan, and like the trailers came out and. It didn't tell you what the story was, but it hinted that, and with the name Unbreakable, it was like, oh, is he a superhero? And then when you go to see it, it is a superhero movie, but like everyone was like, this is so fucking cool. We've never seen a superhero movie like this before.
And that's great because I talk about my shtick thing, right? Like the shtick is it's a superhero movie, but it's not filmed, or directed, or written, or even acted like a superhero
It's not
movie.
At all.
The only thing that it's filmed like a comic book, though. So it does have things where like
kind of
there's a scene,
color, like a lot of color stuff in it.
Yeah, but there's like a scene with David Dunn, who Bruce Willis, Unbreakable.
Yeah.
He is like talking and they do a camera wipe, but the camera just moves as they're talking, and then once Bruce Willis gets out of frame, that's the transition into the next scene.
Yeah.
Which kind of feels like a comic book panel.
Yeah.
So
which is cool.
There's things that make it feel like you're actually in like you're watching a live action comic book.
Yeah. Well, when was the last time you read a comic book? Have you read them recently?
Yeah, I just read through.
Yeah, that's right. You still read comics because you're up on like all the Thor stuff and.
I mean, a lot of that is more.
But that is how comics
Google
go.
Searching. But I just read the Hawkeye series that. The show was kind of based off of.
Yeah, and I, of course, am keeping up with Superman.
And then I just bought the Invincible series.
Have you read it yet?
I haven't read it yet.
You are in for a treat. It's 144 issues.
Yeah.
And it's beginning, middle, and end.
Yes.
And it ends well, middles well, and begins well.
Sweet.
You are in for a treat.
The show is absolutely amazing.
Yes.
And so I knew about Invincible. We'll do an Invincible episode.
We need to do an Invincible episode. Sorry.
But Unbreakable is really cool.
The whole point of me saying that is when you read a comic book, like the panels kind of are blended together a lot of the times in really kind of an artsy, weird way. And so like knowing which section of the page to read next, you just have to follow the artwork with your eyes, which is what M. Night Shyamalan did in this movie. He's like, I'm going to do that camera work, and you just kind of, and it's like you're following on to the next piece of action. It's like, that's cool, man.
And one of the things that I didn't realize this at the time, but now, one of the cool things about doing Banter and Such is it's really made me a lot more of an educated cinephile.
Yes.
And that's one of the things I really appreciate about
analyzing
you, as well as like you and I have taken this concept of a podcast and like been like, no, like we really have to like know this shit.
Yeah.
And one of the things I've talked about it a lot where there's just such fast transitions in Hollywood now. Like, there's like, oh, we're going to have 8 cameras for this single scene, and every 3 seconds we're going to cut to a new angle.
Oh, yeah.
Unbreakable?
It's the YouTube editing thing, yeah.
Unbreakable does not do that.
He lingers.
And that's what's great. So the scene when his kid pulls the gun
oh my gosh, that's
on him is a oneer.
Yeah.
There's no cuts. It's just camera panning back and forth. And it's like a full 4-minute scene.
Yeah. Can I ruin one of my trivia questions?
I mean, that's on you.
I want to ruin one of my trivia questions right now.
Okay.
So that scene, it's almost a literal representation of a real life.
I knew that was going to be one of your questions.
Scenario. That was going to be one of my questions, of course.
Yeah, Christopher Reeves.
George Reeves.
George Reeves. Oh, yeah, sorry.
So George Reeves was Superman on the black and white TV show. There's a guy named Kirk Allen, then it was George Reeves. He was a big barrel-chested guy.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And then Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, Reeve.
Became after that. But anyways, so George Reeves, he was wearing his Superman suit. He's out on the street. He's doing a thing with fans and stuff. And there was a kid came up to him with a gun.
Yep.
And was convinced that he was really Superman. And he goes to shoot him. And so George Reeve, he talks the kid down and he says, if you shoot me, it won't hurt me because I'm Superman. You're right. I'm Superman. I'm fine. But the bullet might ricochet and hit someone else.
Yep.
And that's how he convinced. But this kid was about to shoot him.
Yep.
And I'm like, that shit really happened. That's crazy. And that scene is so intense in this movie.
Yeah. And it's one of those things because it's like, is he about to shoot his own father?
Yes.
And it's just wild. But yeah,
and you didn't know it was going to happen because we didn't know. I mean, I think probably he would have been fine, right? Because can he take a gunshot? I think he can. But we didn't know. As you're watching the movie, you're like, you don't know.
Yeah, because eventually then you see the flashback of the car accident, and that dude was flung like 30 feet from the car.
Yeah.
And was totally fine, unscratched. I mean, he survived a train wreck.
That's right, the train that everyone died.
Everyone died but him.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure.
But I love how it doesn't just spell it out for you and spoon feed you what his limitations it's like a list of his superpowers. Like you really don't know his limits. You know, I'm like, is he? Because he is strong, but he's not like crazy.
Is he strong? That's one of the things I like about it, where it made it where it's like the superheroes in the Unbreakable trilogy.
Yeah,
they're not like Superman, but they're like they're more like Captain America.
Yes.
Right? Like they're just taking it to the pinnacle and a little bit further, right? Like so Bruce Willis, he benches he like rips a car door off.
Yeah.
He benches like 350 pounds. Like, which is all,
but he doesn't pick up an aircraft carrier.
Yeah. But it's like 350 pounds that people can do, right?
Yeah.
But he's not a bodybuilder.
Yeah. He's Bruce Willis.
Yeah, it's Bruce Willis.
Yeah, which I love, but you also don't know as things are going on. You don't know the boundaries of like his abilities because then when he starts touching people and he sees like a psychic vision of like people who have done good things or bad things, and the movie doesn't really spell that out, but it's just like he just has this psychic sense of who's a bad guy.
Yeah, it's interesting. And to talk a little bit more about that too, with like the editing and like the quick cuts, is right now in cinema, it's infuriating to me at times that I feel like we as the audience is getting pandered to. Like they have to explain everything.
It's spoon feeding us.
Yeah. Where it's like there's no explanation, there's no origin story. We don't know why.
Yeah.
The glasses the way is in.
There was no comet from we didn't need that.
No, there was nothing like that. And even then, they're like they don't explain exactly what his touching thing is.
Yeah, they don't.
And
how does that work?
Yeah.
And we don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was wrong about M. Night Shyamalan's character, the drug dealer.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, but he saw the vision. So I like that though, where it's like they're not spoon feeding us. They're giving us enough where we can kind of draw our own conclusions.
Yeah.
And let us have mystery. That's what I miss that in cinema is mystery.
Yeah. Or just, you can hint at stuff. Like there's ways of storytelling that aren't direct. Like there's indirect storytelling.
Yeah.
Like, and you say something to the audience without saying it directly into the camera.
Yes.
And it's like, that's fun.
Too many people rely on exposition.
Yes.
In a way that I mean, we all need exposition. So let me rephrase that. On direct exposition, where they have to like explain it to like another character.
Like you said, there's no subtlety.
Yeah, I'm like, and that's one of the things. Like I was just watching an interview with Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
That's one of the things he really liked about How I Met Your Mother, and I didn't realize that until I heard him talk about it, where he liked that they weren't the show didn't pander to the audience, where like if there was like a reoccurring joke that they hadn't done for a few seasons, they didn't like do a throwback and like talk about it. They just did it, and they would assume that the audience would remember that this is a joke from like season 3.
That's like Community does that too. Like I like that kind of when you assume that the audience is smart, you know, and you don't assume that we're stupid. I like that because also too, what's fun is, I mean, big surprise, believe it or not, is when you sit down with a buddy and you talk about the movie, and then they're like, hey, did you notice this? And you're like, oh, I didn't even notice that. That's so cool. You know, like that's fun. But if you just spell it out and spoon feed it to us in the movie, there's no fun conversation afterwards. Because like, I mean, there's some of the recent, like I remember, you know, we came out of some of the recent, like even we were talking about some of the stuff on Disney Plus. And we're like, oh, have you seen this show? Have you seen that show? And we're like, well, we've seen it, but there's nothing to talk about. Like it is what it is.
Yeah, like I'm in love with She-Hulk, but I'm like I don't know what to say, like to like talk about it. Right? We'll probably still do an episode on it, but
we should. Like Miss Marvel has been fun too. Have you seen it yet?
Yeah, I finished it.
Yeah, it's good.
Great.
It's good.
Oh, talking about that, did you hear the news about Ryan Reynolds today?
No.
Breaking news.
Is he going to be the new Miss Marvel?
No. Oh my gosh, he could do it, but no. They did a teaser for Deadpool 3 today.
Oh shit! In Disney universe now.
He's officially part. So it's Ryan Reynolds, and he's sitting on his couch in his house, and he's talking about like, "Hey, I'm sorry. I've just been so deep with thought. I didn't know how to like do Deadpool right for the MCU movie." And he like does this whole montage of him trying to like write the next Deadpool movie.
Yes.
And he goes, "And I got nothing. But I got one idea." And then as he says that, behind him, Hugh Jackman walks past him. And he's like, "Hey, Hugh, you want to play Wolverine one more time?" And then like Hugh Jackman then walks up the stairs behind him. You never really see like him fully. He like walks like, "Yeah, sure, whatever, Ryan."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
oh my gosh.
It's cool.
Dude, I cannot wait to see like Deadpool in the MCU. Like with all, it opens up a world of jokes to him now.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. Anyways, we need to talk about your and mine favorite M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong movie.
You could tell I loved it so much I want to jump the gun.
Hands down, in my opinion, is his best movie. Not just as my favorite.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go you level here. I think this is his best movie overall. I think the storytelling, the cinematography, the way it's laid out, the introspectiveness of Mel Gibson's character, Joaquin Phoenix just being over the top, the kids. I think everything about it is just chef's kiss perfect.
It's funny because I feel I'm going to do an Owen on this because I feel like, you know, The Sixth Sense is just his masterpiece. And I think Unbreakable is underrated. I think it's way better than people remember.
Yeah.
But Signs, it's my favorite. I don't think it's his best one, but it is my favorite one. And part of it is because of the soundtrack.
Yes.
That soundtrack is so spooky and just everything is spooky and atmospheric. There's nothing gross or violent.
There's a score to it, but it's you're right. It's used a little bit more atmospherically.
Yeah, everything is subtle. Absolutely everything.
One of my favorite things is the sound design for the cornfield.
Oh my gosh.
Just every single time the wind picks up and you can hear it going through the cornfield.
And the leaves rubbing up against. Oh, and then just this, it's just fucking Mel Gibson walking through a cornfield with a flashlight and you just hear the of the wind in the cornfield. And he's looking around, and you know something's going to happen.
Yeah.
We all know something's going to happen. And all you just see this motherfucker's calf. This, like, his heel disappear behind a cornstalk, but that little, you know, the little music. And you're like, ah!
Strange Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yes.
They based the score off that movie.
Yes, I read that. Like, he wanted something, like, classic sounding.
But he's like, but I also want something a little threatening like Jaws.
Yeah.
And then, but he's like, I want something atmospheric like Alien.
Yeah.
So that's where I was
it was
cool.
perfect.
Yeah. I mean,
and even how they incorporate the signals from the spaceships.
Oh, yeah.
And the baby monitor and stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh, And it's like, is that part of the soundtrack? It's just, that's freaking me out, man.
It was so this movie I know for sure I saw in the movie theater with my folks because we were so in love with Sixth Sense and Unbreakable.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to watch it. And I remember almost shitting my pants.
Yeah.
This movie truly is.
What year was this?
2002.
Okay. I think I was dating Sarah at the time. And I think I saw this movie with her on one of our dates.
Oh, really? Okay. So I think I was like 8th or 9th grade. So I was like high school, like just started high school or just about to finish junior high.
Yeah. Like we had just dropped our grandkids off at the preschool, and we're going to go get our AARP and Social Security checks. And we took that and went and got a sody pop and went to see the new M. Night Shyamalan moving picture.
Yes, there it is. Yes.
But we went together, and I remember my heart racing in this movie. And I love my wife, but it wasn't because of her. It was because this movie scared the shit out of me. Like I remember my heart was racing. I was so scared.
The scene that I can say the scaredest I've ever been in my entire life was the first time I saw The Ring.
Really?
Yes. Oh, scariest. But after that movie is to counter myself.
That movie was scary.
It was scary, but after the first viewing, it's laughable.
I told you the story about how that's the only movie I screamed in.
Yeah. We've talked about it before on this podcast. Yeah.
Like I screamed out loud, like a bitch.
I screamed out loud in Signs.
Did you?
Like a bitch.
What scene was it?
You want to guess?
Was it the birthday scene, the birthday party scene?
Do you know that's rated as one of the scariest scenes of all time?
And I'm not surprised.
It is rated as one of the scariest scenes
all
movies.
And you know what happens in it? Nothing.
Nothing.
Like, it's just the alien comes out from the bushes.
Yep, that's it.
And that's all that happens.
Screamed there, and I'm pretty sure I screamed at the hand scene.
Oh, in the basement?
In the basement, and the other one in the kitchen.
Oh, in the pantry.
The pantry, when he's like, screw it, and like looks down underneath the pantry.
And the claw comes right for the camera. Yeah. Oh, gosh. I remember. Yes, dude.
But the scene when it's like, oh, okay, this basement, they used to pour coal down here, so there's a coal shaft.
Yeah.
And like they find it, and then the sun's sitting there, and you're like, what's going on? And just all of a sudden, whoop,
that
the
arm
hand
grabs him.
Oh.
And then they drop the flashlight, and you just hear the scuffling and stuff. I love it. So, have you heard? I feel like if we're going to talk about Signs, we have to talk about some of the fan theories.
Ooh,
because I feel like Signs was the first time where an M. Night Shyamalan movie like didn't make sense. Because later on, of course, he did movies, and I'm like, what is this? There's plot holes here.
Yeah,
none of this makes sense. Signs, even though I love it so much, it was the first movie where like, why can these aliens not just kick your door or shoot ray guns or just blow your house with their nuclear bombs or whatever?
So they did talk about that in the movie. So there's that book that they're reading, the kids are reading.
Yeah, they do.
And they did say that, like, I mean, this is a gimme, but it does say like they probably won't use their technology against us for fear that we would retaliate with nukes.
Yeah.
And if the whole point is them trying to harvest our world for resources.
Yeah. That makes sense. But just the whole, and then of course the twist of this movie, or one of them was their water kills them.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey man, 70% of our planet is water.
Yeah.
70% of our bodies are water. We could spit on your ass. Like, none of that makes sense. You would clearly not. It rains that shit from the sky. You would never in a million years invade this planet if that is your one weakness. But have you heard some of the fan theories that explain it? I know two of which.
Okay, but I do know that that's kind of a throwback. There's like two alien movies. Like one was in the 50s and one was in the 70s. That seawater was acidic to them, and I can't. So it was kind of a throwback. I can't remember what movie.
Yeah, there's a classic horror film that he was kind of referencing there.
So what's the?
Well, I heard one of them. One fan theory was the aliens weren't actually invading Earth; they were using Earth as Australia, and Earth is the Australia of the universe. They were just dropping off their prisoners.
Okay,
they were dropping off their dumbest, and they were just. They were just dumping them on what they would consider this hell planet.
Oh, man.
Because water is acid to them, and this whole planet is water. And so these were just their criminals who were desperately trying to survive, and the humans were like, fuck you guys, and just killed them all.
Jesus.
So that's one theory, that they were just dropping. Another theory was they weren't aliens at all. they leaned the other way where this was all supernatural and they were like demons. And the water, like the reason the water burned them was because he was our pastor. And it's like holy water, you know what I mean?
Oh God!
And I don't like it, but I've heard
that one doesn't make sense.
It's interesting. Though,
I like
right?
it. It doesn't make sense for the movie though.
So you like the Australia version?
That one kind of tickles my fancy. But man, this movie is just so good, and it like sets up, and it breaks the one rule. There is a mega rule in movies that you don't do. And they did it fucking twice in this movie.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't ever fuck with dogs.
Oh, yes.
And they killed 2 dogs in this movie.
Oh, that's right.
It's like an unwritten rule.
Oh, the poor little guy. Because
Yeah.
didn't he get like stabbed or something?
Yeah,
or?
so because they talk
had to
about
stab him, yeah.
how like some of the animals were on edge, like there was a predator around, and one of their dogs, Houdini, I think it was his name.
Yeah.
Was trying to attack the little girl Bo, and so
That's right.
Yeah, the son had to kill it.
I remember that. And then you hear him barking outside
Mhm.
and then yelping, and you're like, no. Like, but man, talk about another scene that was fucking terrifying. Was after that dinner scene, and they had boarded up all the windows and doors, and like it's the calm before the storm.
Yeah,
We know that it's about to happen. They know the aliens are invading
Mhm.
tonight. And they've done everything they know how to do. They've boarded up the doors and windows and stuff. And they're like, we're going to try to just survive, but it's going to happen tonight. And they get together for their like last supper,
Yep.
you know, and then it's begun. And you hear the dogs barking and then you hear the scuttering about. And like, that was fucking, and then a hand under the door. Oh.
that movie is just done so well where even the first scene was like a little bit of a jump scare because it's Mel Gibson just waking up real quick.
Yeah.
So it's like his head comes into frame as he like leans up and it's just everything's great.
What's the one with the daughter? She's like, why is there a monster outside my window?
It's what's wrong? It was like, I need a glass of water and there's a monster outside my room.
And he turns and there's the silhouette of the alien
Mhm.
standing on top of the roof, and you're like,
Cool. Yeah, it is so good. I mean, honestly, like
it's one of my
scares
favorite scary movies.
Right there with you. Mel Gibson does a great job, and even Mel Gibson said that this was one of his hardest movies to act in because Mel Gibson has always been such like a rage, energy forward, just crazy actor. Right, all his roles have been that, and this has been like introspective, very quiet.
Yeah.
And,
Well, you know, and M. Night Shyamalan was in interviews. He said that was the opposite for him. He said this is one of his easiest movies. It was like easiest one to write and easiest one to film. And I think he even said this one was his favorite one. I think it was.
No, Unbreakable. Was it
Unbreakable?
I think it's Unbreakable. He said was his favorite.
But those are probably my 3 favorites.
So we have a couple minutes left here before we get into trivia,
Which I'm fine with, by the way. If we never talked about other, I mean,
we're gonna go through. I'm gonna read from Signs On, and we'll just give like a quick little thing on it. So the next movie that came out in 2004, The Village,
and this is when the problem started.
Yes,
The cracks in the wall.
and Brandon and you and I. So it's hard for us to hang out outside of Banter and Such because we end up having conversations. We're like, no, we can't talk about this until we get on air.
Shut up. We got to record this.
So for the listeners at home, Brando and I, nothing of this is ever scripted besides our intros and outros. So we don't know what either one of us is bringing to the table.
Yeah.
And that's part of the whole gist of the show. So yesterday we started talking about some stuff and this came up.
Yeah.
And
so what did you think? What did you think of The Village?
okay, so I really like The Village.
I do too.
Until the twist.
Okay.
I think the twist makes the entire movie meaningless.
I totally agree. I wanted the monsters to be real. I liked those monsters. Those monsters were scary. This movie was scary until the monsters were fake, and I was like, "Oh man!"
Yeah. So once again, we talked about you can't bat 100, especially if you're trying to do a twist ending for every single fucking movie. The issue is every movie before this, Signs, Unbreakable, Sixth Sense, they started giving you hints what the twist was going to be.
Yes. And if you're smart, you could put it together.
You could pick it up and things like that. But The Village, there is none of that.
It comes out of fucking nowhere.
And that's the issue. If they had hinted at some other stuff, like, this and that, and like, why is this person missing? Or, hey, like, there was just nothing. It was just all of a sudden, here's a twist. Here's a twist, and as well, the twist had no consequences because she was blind.
Yeah.
So what?
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
It just made the movie more boring for the audience. And they did such a good job of like setting up these monsters as like scary, because it's like the towers at the edge of the forest and the little flame and how they had to keep watch, like the monsters in the forest that are going to sneak into the village and like that is a classic like monster thing. Like, and they did such a great job at like building that into a legitimately like creepy, spooky thing. Then for them to turn around and go like, oh, they're not real monsters. It's like, dude, you did such a good job at building up this monster. Yeah. And now you're saying it's not a monster.
And it was terrible. So definitely the start of the decline. If someone's like, hey, let's watch The Village, I'm like, okay,
yeah,
I'll watch it. But every single movie after, from this moment on, probably would never watch again until we get into some of the more recent stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Lady in the Water.
Okay, so next one was Lady in the Water, which
I wanted to like it.
How the fuck can you waste the talent of Paul Giamatti?
Yes, dude.
One of the greatest actors of our generation. And
sorry about
that. You're so guitar. Upset. Yeah, you're snacking the mic around. But Paul Giamatti, one of the greatest. And movie does nothing.
Yeah, and what's it? Bryce
Dallas Howard. Yeah,
yeah, she's fantastic. They're all great. Like, but the movie is just like, what's happening? What
I don't?
Are you doing? Like, what is the?
Yeah, and the twist is that he's not the protector; he's the lover or whatever, the nurse.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't care about that.
All right, next one. One that actually I kind of enjoy to watch, but I have to be in the right mood.
All right,
if you catch my drift. And the mood is something similar to what happened to you last night. The Happening.
Okay, I'm gonna go and say this, and you're gonna be mad at me.
Okay, never seen it?
I've never seen it.
I'm okay. I'm not mad at you for that.
That was the point where you lost me. Like after Lady in the Water, and I saw The Happening, and then the reviews started being like super negative, and I was like, I'm done, man.
Mark Wahlberg is so atrociously bad in this movie. It's almost good.
The thing is, Mark Wahlberg can be a great actor, though. Like I think he needs a good director. If you've seen him in with Scorsese in The Departed,
he was great in Departed.
Maybe not. Maybe go fuck yourself. You know, like when he's with a great director, he's a great. But in this movie, he was clearly like looking confused into the camera. Like, what's happening?
Huh?
Say hello to your mother for me.
Hi, how you doing? Say hi to your mother for me.
I'm Mark Wahlberg. I think the thing about this movie.
Do you know the twist is?
It's trees, right?
It's trees. They're releasing pollen into the air that's a toxin to
making
us.
People
kill themselves. Yeah,
and they're running from the wind that's blowing the
pollen.
Yeah,
yeah.
And it's like, what?
Yep. Okay. Then, The Last Airbender, cool, done. Then we come into honestly probably his worst film, and it's not even because of him.
Yep.
After Earth.
Welcome to Earth.
Yeah, it's Will Smith and Jada Smith.
Jaden Smith.
Yeah.
So this was on top of Will Smith like bringing his son in and like trying to force him onto America.
It was
like the next superstar.
It was like a vanity project to be like, yo, I'm done. You all now will love my son.
And he was in like Karate Kid and all this stuff. And everyone's like, no one was like, we're supposed to like this kid because he's Will Smith's kid. And the movie was like, every decision they made in the movie was the exact wrong decision. They made this decision. They're like, we want you to have this accent. It's because it's like 1,000 years in the future. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're speaking English, but obviously you'll speak it with like a different accent, right? And they're like, cool. So they came up with this accent of like a future accent. And it's like, that's a cool idea, right? Yeah. But when you listen to it, it sounds fucking stupid as hell, man.
It wasn't
like,
executed right.
It was like, what are you doing? This sounds dumb. Stop doing this.
It just wasn't good. But here's my thing. After this movie is when Shyamalama Ding Dong started to get better.
Well, there was a little bit of a break, right?
So, yeah, because he did After Earth. Well, The Happening was 2008. Last Airbender was 2010. After Earth, 2013. Then his next one.
Yeah, see, I'm getting far apart.
Yeah. Is 2015. And I actually really like this movie, The Visit.
This is with the grandparents, right?
The grandparents one, yeah.
I haven't seen this one either.
Actually, so they do it like found footage kind of style. So it's the kids documenting their week stay.
And isn't it like where their grandparents are creeping them out or something?
Yeah, the grandparents are getting weird.
Okay.
Like there's a line one time where like the grandparent, like the grandma like pulls some like a food out of the oven and then looks to the girl. She's like, hey, could you get in the oven and clean it?
Like, what? what?
Yeah.
No.
But it's a good one. This one starts to get back into twists and good twists. The twist at the end, I think it's not anything mind blowing like The Sixth Sense, but I think it's pretty good.
I'm fine. Okay, so if you're gonna tell me,
but then we need to get into, and we'll be done with this.
So here's where I come back.
Split. Because oh my dear God, I've always liked James McAvoy.
Yeah.
I did not realize how good of an actor he was until Split.
Same. I did not. Split is where I got all my respect for James McAvoy. I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Insane. When he did all the different personalities, every single personality was a completely different person.
But like he looks different. Like his body is different and his face, like his muscles are different. I'm like, dude, what are you doing right now?
It was crazy. And then Split came out. Because I'm trying to wrap us up so we can have some more stuff to talk about in bonus banter.
Yeah.
But Glass then came out.
Because Split had that after credit. It had the MCU.
The MCU after credits that tied it in. You're like, oh shit, this is part of Unbreakable.
And then Bruce Willis showed up and he was like, you think you're the only superhero in the world? I'm putting a team together. It's the Glass Avengers.
Glass, get the fuck out of here.
The Unbreak Avengers.
You know, Glass has Nick Fury. I have my muscles. So the muscle breakers.
So Glass came out and Glass was like, you know, we're gonna tie Unbreakable and Split together. And I enjoyed Glass. It wasn't as good as I hoped it'd be. It wasn't as good as I hoped it would be. But I did enjoy it. I wouldn't say that it was another like, you know, one Lady in the Water or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Well, man.
And then he did Old.
Yeah, which we'll get into bonus banter on Old.
So what's
this
one? What's
Devil?
Knock at the Cabin?
Knock at the Cabin's coming up.
He's got one coming up.
Yeah, Knock at the Cabin. I don't know.
Devil, is that the one where they were in the
elevator?
Oh,
and I really like that one too.
You liked it?
I liked it.
I didn't.
Oh, really? Okay. We'll get bonus banter. We'll talk about it in bonus banter.
Okay.
But honestly, like M. Night Shyamalan, even though he has done such shit for so long, I would still say he's one of the best directors of our generation. I have nothing but love and respect for that guy. If I don't think about The Last Airbender.
Yeah,
if I take that movie out of existence, which in headcanon for me,
it doesn't exist.
In Earth 615 or 616, he doesn't exist.
It doesn't.
That movie doesn't exist.
And to be fair, like we all knew that, like, you know, it's like whenever they do a movie based on a video game, you know it's going to be shit, you know? It's like, dude, we knew, you know, most of the time when they do a movie based on something else, it's not good. Yeah. So it's like, it's almost like it's not his fault. He was just like cursed or something. I feel like that's what happened with M. Night Shyamalan. Like he found a monkey's paw somewhere when he was like 17 and he like sold his soul to it. But he was like, you can only get 4 movies and then you will be hated by everyone. And he was like, let's do it, man.
Fuck it, let's go.
And then Lady in the Water hit, and then Last Airbender, and everyone was like, fuck you, M. Night Shyamalan.
But honestly, M. Night, I know you're a fan of the show, so I just want to say, like, look, man,
we love you, dude.
I think you're back on it, and I cannot wait for what, like, the next decade of movies that you're making.
I feel like I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, 100%.
I want him to win.
Yeah.
I want him to win.
Well, hey, Brando, do you know what time it is?
It's trivia time.
Oh yeah. So Brando, you have been on a tear. But unfortunately, because last week I had the vid, so we didn't record, so we just released, which I think was a hilarious episode. Your episode of Wasted Truth that we released last week.
Oh yeah. I had so much fun with those girls, and they were so kind to me because I just felt so stupid. But I was stepping in their world, and they welcomed me in, and I love them for that.
And so, but on Back to the Future, I did beat you 3-5. So you're gonna have to. What are we calling it now? We always change the name like every episode. I feel like the Wheel of Misfortune is what
the
we call
spinning shitstorm of loserdom.
All right. Well, Brando, give us a spin.
What does that say?
I have no idea. What pirate hat? Oh, which is great. So you have to wear a pirate hat and talk like a pirate for the rest of the episode.
All right. Is it over here?
Yeah, it's
you have a fucking pirate hat in this studio?
Yes, I do. You've landed on this one before. I'd take your headphones off, Brando.
Yeah.
Take them off before you reach.
All right.
That top right corner up there. I think it's underneath the chicken head. Yep, there it is. Oh my gosh. All right. Put that shit on. Well, I put the headphones on and then, or whichever. I don't care. This is great content for the podcast right now.
All right.
Let's get a.
I'll put the pirate hat on. Check out our Instagram to see this stupid nonsense.
All right.
This is just a fucking ploy to grow our social media
Please,
presence.
yeah. Check us out on Instagram. All right, Brando, would you like to go first or shall I go first?
Yeah, well, now I only have 5 questions because
Okay.
I gave that. I had the Superman one I had to talk about.
That's fair.
You go first.
Okay. So M. Night Shyamalan likes using the same actor twice. Now, obviously, with Unbreakable, that has changed, but from movie to movie, he always has brought a previous actor into the next one.
Okay.
For instance, Bruce Willis was Sixth Sense to Unbreakable.
Yeah.
Then he's had a couple other ones. Can you give me, I would say, two other actors who have been in 2 movies back to back?
Is it okay if I look at his movies?
No.
Okay. 2 other actors back. I mean,
Mhm.
so Signs. I'm trying to think of the order of them. So it went Unbreakable and then Signs.
Yes.
Like who was in there?
So he started new cast in Signs.
Okay, so Signs, and then what was that? Lady in the Water.
Then Lady in the Water. No, then The Village.
Then The Village.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Joaquin Phoenix
Is in both. Yes, there's one. So Joaquin Phoenix played Meryl, and then he played one of the villagers.
Yeah, one of the.
So Joaquin Phoenix was in both.
And let's see, and then after that was Lady in the Water,
Mm-hmm.
and then was it Last Airbender?
No,
after that?
I'll say this pretty much ends at Lady in the Water.
Okay. Oh, Bryce Dallas Howard
Is in both as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So I will give you a bonus point
all right.
if you can give me the third, and I will give you it's from Signs to The Village as well.
From Signs to The
There's
Village.
another person that's in both those movies.
I think I know who it is.
All right.
Is it the sheriff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me the name. Her name.
I don't remember. I just remember in Signs she was the sheriff.
Sheriff, and then she's one of the elders in the
She's-
town.
yeah,
All right,
I knew-
I'll give it to you. Cherry Jones. Cherry
Yeah,
Jones.
I didn't remember her name, but I did remember she's like
All
an
right, you
elder,
got 2
yeah.
points. I'll give it to you.
All right. Here we go. Mine is coming from Signs too. So in Signs, the scene where Mel Gibson says goodbye to his wife,
Mm-hmm.
because they had like done the flashbacks to it, and then finally they get
Yeah.
to that final conversation where she's kind of like given the prophecy and he says goodbye to her. That scene was filmed a day after a real life tragedy that had happened, like a real world tragedy. Like what was the tragedy?
I'm going to need a little.
It was like a real world national tragedy.
Oh, was it the day after 9/11?
It was.
Okay.
It was. I thought if I were to use the word
Yeah.
national,
Yeah.
This is on film on
Because, like,
September 12th,
Except
2001.
That's right as well, because the other thing I remember reading up on is the day after M. Night Shyamalan's a family member died, he had to give a speech to Mel
Yes.
Gibson. So that's where I was like, I couldn't I'm like, when you say tragedy, I need a little get honed
It
in
was a
here.
real, and so like the whole cast and crew did this whole candlelight vigil for like
Oh,
9/11, and then they blew out their candles and then filmed that scene.
Wow.
And that's like
Okay.
a heart jerking scene too. So yeah.
So, my next question then, this is going to go for Unbreakable. David Dunn, Bruce Willis,
Yeah.
in Unbreakable, is credited with 3 superpowers and potentially a 4th. Can you name all 4?
Well, okay. One will be his like invulnerability.
Yep, invincibility.
One would be his strength,
Mm-hmm.
and then the third one would be like that psychic.
The extra sense.
Yeah.
The sixth sense.
Yeah,
He has a sixth sense.
He
Yeah.
sees dead people.
And then he has a 4th, which you don't really see in the movie, but it's hinted at a couple times.
Oh wow! I thought I had it. There's a 4th one
Mm-hmm.
because he does. It involves Mr. Glass, right?
No.
I thought like he was getting some flashbacks from him or something.
No, that's all the extra sense.
I don't know what it is.
So it is super speed.
Really?
Not, like I said, we talked about it where it's not like crazy like the Flash, right?
Yeah.
But they talk a lot about his football career and how amazing of a quarterback he was.
oh,
So the theory is, and especially with now Glass coming out, him running faster than most humans.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
So do I get anything from that?
Maybe.
I get 3 points instead of 4 points. All right, here we go. So the movie Signs, with the movie Signs, the title Signs has two meanings, like metaphorical meanings. What are they for the movie? So what are the metaphorical signs in the movie?
So one is like signs could also be a term for like miracles. Is it like looking for some type of like like the divine intervention, like intervening with
it's
life?
Like a sign from God.
Yeah. Okay.
So yes, that's one.
That's one. And then signs would be like looking for encounters of the third kind. That like the crops.
Okay.
Circles.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yes. The crop circles.
Yeah. Okay.
So like the crop circles are signs from aliens.
Yeah.
And then the stuff in his life where these were signs from God. So and it was both.
You know what's crazy is traditionally like the signs out in a field has always been wheat. They did corn specifically because it was stranger that.
Oh, you mean like crop circles?
Crop circles was in wheat fields because corn stock. Like if you actually run through a cornfield,
it's creepy.
You are going to come out with bruises,
and it's tall too.
Yeah.
So my wife has family in the middle of nowhere, Indiana, like in the middle of cornfields.
Oh wow!
And it does get spooky at night. Like it's definitely. I'm weird.
Sure. Okay.
And I want to say too, like as someone who is a pastor in my other life, it was nice seeing Mel Gibson like portray a pastor who wasn't like a psychopath or something,
and as well, like
he was just a decent guy.
That whole struggle he has too
was cool.
It's great. I loved it.
It was really cool.
Okay. Shyamalama Ding Dong got nominated for a Razzie for every film that he made from The Village onward.
Okay.
What movie broke that streak?
It had to be Split.
No.
It wasn't?
No. The Visit was the first movie since...
Was that before Split?
That was a year... Yeah, right before Split.
Oh,
yeah.
damn
The Visit was what broke the streak for...
maybe I need to see this movie. I thought that was one of his duds.
It gets like... I think it's got like a 3.6 online,
okay.
So...
Yeah.
Like I said, I really like it. So.
Yeah, I need to check it out. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Okay, everyone in M. Night Shyamalan's family, or most everyone, are this profession. Hold on, let me finish. They are this same profession, except for him. He's the only one who's a filmmaker.
Okay.
That's why he cameoed as this profession in The Sixth Sense.
In The Sixth Sense.
His cameo, he was this profession.
Oh my God.
And that's what everyone in his family is except for him.
The Sixth Sense? What?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember his cameo.
I know. No one ever remembers it because it was so short. Like, you don't ever remember it.
Okay, wait. So he was like a drug dealer in Unbreakable.
Yeah, that's it. His entire family's a family of drug dealers. He works for the cartel.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want to sell cocaine, Dad. I want to make movies.
Well, you can do both, okay?
You're going to sell drugs
while you make the movies. All your movie stars need cocaine.
There's no money in the movies. You can't make me, Dad.
He's a vet in Signs.
Yes.
Then he's a writer in Lady in Water.
Yeah. But this is his cameo in Sixth Sense, because of course he always does.
In The Village, he was like a park ranger.
Was he?
Yeah, you only see him because I don't even remember. A reflection of a window.
I thought he was the writer in
Lady in the Water.
Lady in the Water. Oh, that's what I meant. That's what.
All right.
That's right.
I'm stalling because I can't remember. I'm gonna say Doctor.
Oh, son of a bitch! I should have counted down. It is fucking Doctor.
Yes.
Everyone in his family is a doctor, and he's a filmmaker. And so in his movies, he was like, "Fine, I'm a doctor in my movies."
Because I'm thinking through it, and I'm like, I can see him in a lab coat, like a doctor's coat, and so I was like, okay.
It was a very short scene. He was checking on Haley Joel Osment when he had something had happened.
Oh,
to him.
okay, yeah. All right.
Damn it! I should have made it harder for you. I let you stall.
Okay,
you don't let me stall.
For this one, Brando, I need you to turn your phone over because I can't have you be looking at anything for my next question.
What do you mean?
I don't look at your phone.
I'm just looking at my
I know,
okay,
but I don't even want that.
All right, fair enough.
Spell M. Night Shyamalan. Spell Shyamalan.
All right, M. Period.
Okay.
Night.
Okay.
All right.
Spell Shyamalan.
SHYA.
Okay.
MALAN.
Yep, there it is.
What a twist!
All right, we're tied 3-3.
Shyamalan. All right. All right, what am I looking at? Okay, in The Sixth Sense, what color is used to indicate the supernatural? Every time you see this color on screen, there's one specific color, and it means a ghost is about to happen or some kind of supernatural is about to happen.
Shit, I'm torn between two colors.
Yeah. I'm only gonna, you can only do
I
one.
know.
Don't say this or this. You just gotta pick one.
Okay, so I'm gonna say I'm trying to decide between yellow or red. I'm gonna say red.
You were right.
Fucking hell.
But when you think of The Sixth Sense, you don't think of red. Like there's no red in it, but it's so subtle.
Because it's like red is like, doesn't his wife wear a red dress?
Yes.
Also, I love that you're still talking as a pirate. I just realized, I look up at you, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't. Yeah.
I got the pirate. Well, also when he first meets Bruce Willis, he meets him out. Dang it. He meets him out on the street, and there's a red door right behind him. I'm knocking all this fucking shit in our studio.
This new mic position for you is not working well.
I don't know if it sounds good or not, though. But yeah, it's the color red. So when you watch the movie, look for red, and that indicates that.
Oh shit! Okay.
So it kind of.
I was gonna go yellow because I don't know, like yeah. Anyways,
I wish you had said yeah.
I know. I forgot to give you the point.
Give me some correct. Give me some questions I can answer.
What does David Dunn and the aliens from Signs have in common?
David Dunn and the aliens from Signs? What do they have in common?
If you don't get this one, when I give you the answer, you're going to kick yourself.
What? Is this Superman related?
No. David Dunn, Unbreakable, Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
What does that character have in common with the aliens
I know what it
Sign?
is. Their weakness is water.
There it is.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right.
Oh. I think I just fucking ruined one of my questions too.
Oh, really? Okay.
All right, here's my next one. Oh shit, that
all right.
You want a free point? I'm not going to ask you this question, but here's what it was. It was, what symbolic reason does Bruce Willis wear a raincoat in Unbreakable? And a raincoat protects you from the water.
Oh,
so it was to protect him from his weakness, which is water. Yeah. So that's all I got. That's all
right.
Do you have any more?
Yeah, we are tied 4-4 right now.
Okay.
So
all right.
I do have one more question.
Oh.
And because it is a tiebreaker, if you get it right, you get a point. If you get it wrong, I get a point.
All right. I love these. All
right. How many personalities does Kevin Wendell Crumb have?
Oh, shit, dude. Isn't it like 130 something? Like it's a stupid high number, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, I do know, but you tell me.
Do they say it in the movie?
Multiple times.
Like this many personalities. Oh, this is why I should have rewatched the movie.
It's
It's
I will say it's related to Jim Carrey.
Okay. What the fuck?
That's an obscure hint, and that's the only hint I'm given.
And
there are two valid answers, to be honest.
Is it 27?
It is 23.
Ah!
Technically 24 because the Beast. The Beast is one that makes it 24.
Jim Carrey was in that movie. The
23.
Number? I was trying to remember what number it was. That's why I was guessing.
Well,
damn it.
Yeah.
I was so close.
You were very close.
Oh, I gotta find my script for like how we end the show now.
Yes, because it is new.
Well, all right. What's our total? What are we looking?
So I got a total of 5, and you got a total of 4. So once again, next week you will be spinning the wheel of misfortune.
Okay.
So right now, the score right now in total is 11 points you, 13 points me.
This is fun, and I'm really excited. We're getting into Spooktober, but this has been an amazing episode. This is where I would ask our guests where we can be friends online, but instead I'll ask you, Owie, where can we be friends online?
You can find us on Instagram at Banter Such podcast, and as well, check us out on the Patreon, website links in the show description,
Yeah, and we're proud members of the Helios Network, a collection of great podcasts made by regular people.
Check us out at www.theheliosnetwork.com to see some of our other amazing podcasts, like I'll Be Careful, You'll Be Dead.
You'll be dead. You'll be dead.
We officially have started a Star Wars podcast.
Yes.
With 3 amazing Star Wars nerds.
We have the first episode.
I'll just say it. If you go to any major platform and type in "I'll be careful, you'll be dead,"
They're already out.
The first episode is out. They haven't officially launched.
We haven't officially launched yet,
but it's up and running.
So the good thing is there's 3 dudes who are funny and they're
Chris, Lewis, and Xavier.
Genuinely good dudes.
Chris has been on before. Xavier's been on before. Lewis, we'll get him on for something.
You're gonna love these guys. You're gonna love this show. I'm super excited. Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Banter and Such.
Yes, next week we're officially starting the Spooktober special, and we're gonna be doing the movie monsters.
Yes,
and we're gonna be doing them next week. It's gonna start with one of probably the most iconic Halloween monsters,
the greatest, the best ever.
I want to suck your blood.
The slightly offensive Eastern European accent vampire, Dracula, which is the name of your big ass scary dog.
I do have a dog named Dracula, yes, and he is big and he is scary because he doesn't like anybody but me.
Spooktober special, y'all! Next week, don't miss it. I'm super excited, and I'm Brando,
and I'm Owen.
And until next time, may your week be filled with BS.
Dude, it is so hard to contain like an hour for just M. Night Shyamalan.
How did we do?
We like an hour and 5 minutes.
I'm very happy with that. If my ideal would be 59 minutes. That would be my ideal time. But you kept us going. And honestly, we talked about the movies I wanted to talk about because it's like I didn't want to just shit talk him. And if we had like stuck with like Lady in the Water and stuff, I would have just talked shit the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, so here's my thing, right? Like we talked about it, like
taking the stupid hat off.
Yeah, go for it. Those movies aren't good, but there's still things I appreciate about them because they're just weird and different.
He's trying, but you can tell he's trying.
The issue with Lady in the Water, and we didn't really talk about it at all, but did you know that all the movies that came out before Lady in the Water were Disney produced?
Oh, no, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And
but I guess I remember reading about that with The Sixth Sense, where a Disney guy just like bought the script for like $3 million. Like he was pretty much a nobody, and they were like $3 million, and he had to direct it. So if they bought the script, that means they had to let him direct it. So they made him like a star overnight.